Tiff, Punisher, trap mode activated. All the CPS rapping the beat.
Hit the gas low, feel the rumble.
Tiff on the block, shadow creeping deep. Punisher lurking, no time for sleep. CPS snakes stealing in the night. Family broken, but weeknight to fight. Exposing secrets with ice in our vein. YouTube dropping bomb, breaking chains. Giving more pressure, we won't fall here. Just a rum to make them disappear. Tiff and the Punisher hit it. Fighting for freedom, they can't hold us back. Apply the CPS, get that big ass. Exploding the truth in the trap of a time. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, pump it up. Punisher roll D till never crack. Hit the gas, gas, gas. Justice in the trash. Punisher and beast motive, calling shots. Hitting off hard, connecting the dots. Kid trapped in system, parents in despair. But we're the underground, breathing rare air. Perk loading up like clips in the mag. Abolishing evil, wave the black flag. Slow down the vibe, but the fire stay lit. Victory creeping, feel the trap hit. Tiff and the Punisher hit it. Fighting for freedom, they can't hold us back. Upon the CPS, that's just gas. Exploding the truth in the trap of a time. Pump it up, gas, gas, gas. Pump it up, pump it up. Punisher rolls, D-tip never cracks. Hit the gas, gas, gas. Justice in the trash. Deep and dark, no escape right here. Tipping phones to the street, Punisher bring the fear. Family rising, system crumbling down. Trap justice burning, claim the crime. Pump it up, pump it up, hold up, hit it, hit it. Pump it up, hold up, hit it, hit it. Pump it up, hold up, hit it, hit it. Pump it up, yeah, 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 yeah. Tiff and the Punisher hit it. Fighting for freedom, they can't hold us back. No bullet CPS, that's just gas.
Tiff and the Punisher, they won't back down. Fight for the children in every town.
They are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We've done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, God damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids years to come back. Look at all those kids, pictures held up by thin ties. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out, CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher, sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows, and the only games you play are old Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stop it.
Boy, take my breath away. What's up, Tiff?
I feel better today.
Oh, that's good. You look nice.
Well, thank you, but I feel better today
Oh, wow.
than all week. So yeah, so I feel better
But why do you feel better?
because I found out we had a neurovirus.
Oh my gosh, what does that mean to you?
That's like food poisoning. You can die from that.
You can die from walking down the street and getting hit by a piece of blue ice.
Yeah, but I don't want to die puking my guts out, drowning in the toilet, okay?
There's multiple things that you can do that will end your life in that way. So, I mean, you probably have a better chance of dying that way than you do if you were, say, an airplane crash, for instance.
Well, I don't get on airplanes, so I don't know.
I'm just stating the facts, Tiff. That's all.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. When I first got it a couple years ago, I literally...
Hey, when was the last time you had the flu?
2 years ago was same thing, but it wasn't as bad this time as it was last time. Like the last time, I literally prayed to God when I laid back on my bed, if I die, do not let my grandchildren find me dead.
Oh, man, the cat will start eating you?
Well, I don't think...
Right away. Right away. They're just right to consumption mode. Soul's gone, cat's in. You know, so you want to be careful.
I'm telling you, but that time, it took me down for 5 days.
The cat?
The neurovirus.
Oh,
it put me down for 5 days.
Yeah. That did you get in the hospital?
I don't do doctors.
I know, you're a married woman. But did you go to the hospital?
No.
No. So you self-assessed yourself to be and have the neurovirus?
Well, how ironic. The next day, they came on and was talking about this neurovirus, and every freaking thing that they were talking about, I had every symptom. In fact, when I was getting sick that night, my husband said, I don't know what you have, but I don't want it. And he slept in the living room for a week.
And just like that, you could determine that you had the neurovirus.
Oh, trust me, I had the neurovirus because I took one of them in. They had it. And I said, well, is that contagious? And they said, oh, it's highly contagious. And I said, oh, my God, I know that's what I had. Then 5 of my customers, all females, they all had it, too. I was like, what? It was bad.
Now, if I were to say in a courtroom, oh, Tiffany said that we had the neurovirus, and 5 of us had it because we all had the same things. But Tiffany's not. Would that be an acceptable? Would that be acceptable in the court of law, Tiff? Would you?
Well, maybe not for me, but the other 4 went to the hospital and they were diagnosed with it. They got puke pills.
Right. Because they were like, no, we got to go to the hospital and get some professional work done. Right. See, that's what I'm getting at. So why?
Right. I couldn't even get out of bed though.
I imagine it's terrible. I've heard terrible things about it.
I didn't even know what it was.
Listen, anytime you throw up, it's bad anyway. I don't like that. I don't want nothing to do with that. I barely like it going in, let alone coming out. You know, it's kind of crazy. I don't like it at all. I don't think many people do like it. I don't think, but you know, I used to.
What blows me away is like I'll see them throwing up, and like an hour later they're running around, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't even lift my head.
You know what? I love throwing up because I'm like, oh, this means I can automatically have a nap. Because no one's messing with you after you puke. They're like, oh, she threw up. Get away from her. Get away from her. We don't want to get that. And you're like, all right, I can get a quick 20-minute, half-hour nap before someone starts to be like, wait, what are you doing, being lazy?
I slept 22 hours last Monday.
Oh, babe, did you right? You know,
22 hours.
Babe, you're a good man.
And then he got sick the next day.
Yeah. Now he's almost dead on the couch. 200-degree fever, and you got Tiff waiting on you. Sure, that works out great in his favor. Lord, I bet she's about as calm and as welcoming as a cactus when it comes to that stuff.
Oh no, I'm like tea, soup.
Oh, nice. Like nice, come in with it all nice and and everything.
Yeah, but I don't want none of that. Just leave me alone. Let me sleep. My body's had it.
Don't you wake me up for no hot water with lemon in it. I don't need that shit. I got this awful taste of mucus that's going through my mouth all night long. I don't need to add this hot water with lemon in it. You know, looking good, man. It's crazy stuff. Really, the human body and what it does. You know, but so today. That's none of the damn business, all right? Well, today I was messing around and stuff, you know. And I made a new CPS Punisher song.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hear it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna. Hopefully, it will play through here. I think it never has been recently. Let me see if I can do this. Can you hear it?
A little bit.
Can you hear it a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
It's pretty hard, you know. But yeah, I did that. But then I also man, this is really a good song. You guys should check it out. Let me give you a copy of it.
Okay.
So I was messing with the notebook, you know. It's my portion. Listen.
Darren, talk in your microphone.
I don't have a microphone, Tiff. It's burnt up, remember?
Oh, damn, that's right. But you sound better when you talk wherever your head just was.
Nice damn joke that is, Tiff. Christ almighty. Hey, you guys want to use the Darren's microphone joke burnt up again on tonight's show, or what do you want to do? Which show we want to get to that? Darren, remember that time your house blew up? Yes, Tiff, I do. Oh, Lord almighty. All right, let's get going then.
Did you see the picture of the Barbie smoking a cigarette while there's fire behind her?
Oh my
I
God.
sent it to you. I said, oh no.
I bet it must be a riot. That's funny. I gotta watch.
So what were you going to show us? Did you do another picture or what?
Oh yeah, so I was messing around and I was playing with I've been storing our shows in Notebook app, And because they have so much cool stuff that you can even do with it, which I didn't realize. But I asked it to do an audio overview of so there's a bunch of our shows are in this, right?
Mhm.
Let me update it here. So I asked it to do a podcast for you and I, come up with this. So I'm going to ask it, I'm going to say, what are the main differences between Tiff
Network connection timed out
and the Punisher? So now it will make a thing, an overview for us, and you come out with this pretty cool podcast. And then we do this. No, this is really cool. I'm sure people have seen this thing. Jeff and the Punisher are different and same. Okay, generate. So now give us this. It's going to generate the audio overview for us. Come back in a little while. We have way more than this on some stuff. I wish it wasn't. It was one of the older ones, but let's see. While it's doing that, have you ever seen this notebook app, Tiff?
Even if I did, Darren, I wouldn't know what to use it for or do with it.
I don't even know what that was. That just came out of your mouth.
I said, even if I have, I don't know what I would do with it or how to use it.
Oh, I see. Yes. Very good.
You would be talking me through it.
Yes. Yes, I would. And I would know more about your thing than you did.
Yeah, exactly. That's terrible.
That's the way it would be. I don't understand why it doesn't give me the
So while you figure that out, let me tell everybody what I did today.
I'm doing stuff right now. I'm trying to do this.
So on Friday, Billy from Toll and Roll wanted to talk to me, and I said on Monday. So her and I did an interview today. Once it's edited, because I cuss a lot. Once it's edited, she's gonna send it to me and Darren, and we're gonna play it for you guys. It was fun. I had a good time. You just have to wait and see, but I will tell you that it was a good interview. And I'm excited for it to come out. I sent her some stuff that I use when dealing with CPS. I sent her the article that I was in 2023. So she's got some stuff. And then I laid down the rest of the day.
Because you had a neurovirus self-diagnosed.
Yeah, because I still feel like I'm like not 100%, right? Like vacuuming the floor just wipes me out.
Yeah. Hopefully it's
making my bed.
It's not vertigo.
What?
Hopefully it's not vertigo.
Oh my God, I have vertigo sometimes, and let me tell you something. I don't wish that on anybody.
No, but you like to lay down.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty good. Laying down is nice. All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Wonder if you'll be able to hear this when I do this.
Okay.
Remember what I asked the questions, right?
Yeah.
What was your question, Tiff?
What is the difference between Tiff and the Punisher, and what are the differences between Tiff and the Punisher?
All right, good. You remembered.
I'm paying attention.
All right. I know you're always paying attention to everything.
I can't read that though.
No, we won't. We're just going to do the listening part.
Them the
Okay.
absolute unshakable. Welcome to the debate. So imagine standing in a Walmart parking lot. You are broadcasting your voice to thousands of terrified parents from your smartphone simply because, well, your house just burned to the ground.
Right. It's a terrifying scenario.
And as you watched it burn, 45 firefighters stood by and did nothing. Meanwhile, police officers on the scene actually threatened to arrest you over a $50 unpaid fine.
Just a completely surreal, infuriating moment. They abandoned the idea of institutional reform. They favor absolute scorched earth institutional abolition.
It is the absolute definition of scorched earth activism. And, through this uncompromising approach, they have managed to capture a highly engaged audience. These are parents and advocates who feel completely disenfranchised and frankly traumatized by the child welfare system.
Yeah, the trauma is everywhere in their broadcasts.
Which brings us to the core tension we are exploring today. Tiff and The Punisher operate as a unified, highly effective front, but their methods and personas are just wildly divergent. So, does the effectiveness of their partnership stem from their asymmetrical, complementary tactics, meaning how they differ?
Or is their synergy fundamentally rooted in their uncompromising shared ideological absolutism? Basically, how they are exactly alike.
Right, and I look at it this way. Their power isn't just about their shared anger. It's about how their entirely different approaches fit together like a lock and key to cover, every angle of the battlefield.
And I will push back on that framework. I really do believe their tactical differences, while fascinating, and they are fascinating, are entirely secondary. Their profound philosophical similarities, specifically the zero-tolerance ideology, that is the true glue of their partnership.
Well, let's look at the mechanics of what they actually do, because the contrast is vital here. When you listen to Tiff, you're listening to the emotional, historical vanguard of this movement.
Yes, the veteran.
Exactly. She brings 37 years of hard-fought analog experience to the table. And her tactics rely heavily on sheer interpersonal intimidation to navigate the system. She operates under the self-described banner of being crazy by design.
Which is quite the label to claim.
It is. And she absorbs the immense emotional trauma of their community. In one incredibly heavy moment on the broadcast, she notes that only 1 out of every 52 phone calls she takes brings any good news.
Man, it is an almost unimaginable psychological burden to carry on a daily basis.
It really is. But then you have her co-host, The Punisher, whose real name is Darren. He takes a completely different operational track. He is the structural technological disruptor.
Right, he's the data guy.
Yes, he focuses intensely on the data. While Tiff is managing the emotional fallout and those courtroom staring contests, he is tracking massive legislative bills. He even built the CPS Punisher app to literally scale their fight.
Giving users a digital tool to document Fourth Amendment violations.
Precisely. And the reason they mesh so well is because they cover both necessary battlefields. Tiff handles the psychological warfare, while The Punisher provides the modern, data-driven infrastructure.
I come at it from a different way. The tools they use are different, yes. But if you look closely at the source material, those tools are only effective because they are anchored to the exact same foundational mandate.
Okay, what do you mean by foundational mandate?
First, both of them demand absolute zero-tolerance non-compliance with the system. The phrase, never comply with CPS, isn't a bumper sticker for them. It is a strict operational directive. Furthermore, both view the system exclusively as a financially motivated enterprise. They refer to it repeatedly as kids for cash.
They certainly don't mince words about the financial incentives, that's true.
No, they don't. But most importantly, both of these hosts operate from a place of having zero structural power left to lose. Tiff lost her own child to the system. She navigated the devastating, irreversible reality of the termination of parental rights.
Yeah, the absolute worst-case scenario.
Right. And The Punisher, as you mentioned in the opening, is broadcasting from a Walmart parking lot after losing his home. He views the apathy of the fire department and the police as symptoms of the exact same systemic rot that Tiff fights in family court.
The same indifference.
Exactly. Their shared identity as uncompromising victims turned warriors who reject the system entirely, that is what makes them effective. Whether you wield a legal loophole or a smartphone app, the tool only matters because of the zero-tolerance ideology swinging it.
I see why you think that,
So,
but
Tim,
let
you
me give
guys
you a
know
different perspective. Let's actually drill down into how those tools work,
I
because
love
I
it.
think it proves why the asymmetry is the point.
Isn't it
Okay,
great?
let's hear it.
Let's look at Tiff's visceral interpersonal dominance.
Oh, let's see your
She
visceral-
tells parents not to sign safety plans. Now, for the listener who might not know, a safety plan is often a voluntary agreement a parent signs with a social worker, usually under the threat of child removal.
Right, and it essentially bypasses formal judicial oversight.
Exactly. Tiff tells them to refuse it entirely. She also advises parents to file for sole custody against their partners. Now, why does she do that? Because procedurally, filing for sole custody shifts the jurisdiction from juvenile dependency court, where the state has immense power, into family court.
Bypassing the agency entirely.
Yes, fundamentally boxing the agency out of the legal process. That is raw, psychological, tactical brilliance.
It is a profound manipulation of the legal bureaucracy, absolutely.
Now compare that to The Punisher. He appeals to individuals looking for a structural fight. When he talks about his app, he describes it as Fourth Amendment armor. But mechanically, what does that actually mean?
It records interactions, right?
Yeah, it records interactions and timestamps them immediately. Why? Because a recurring grievance in their community is social workers retroactively forging signatures or altering notes to justify warrantless entries. The app voids lies in real time by creating an immutable digital paper trail.
So it's an evidence generator.
Exactly. So think of their partnership like a coordinated cybersecurity attack on a fortress. Tiff is handling the social engineering, the psychological hacks required to survive a courtroom and manipulate jurisdiction.
And the Punisher is writing the malicious code to dismantle the mainframe from the outside.
Yes, you can't say they are the same just because they are attacking the same server. Doesn't this precise division of labor prove that their differences are the essential mechanism of their alliance?
Well, the cybersecurity analogy is a brilliant visual, I'll give you that. But we need to look at what they are actually trying to achieve once they breach that server. I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that their differing tactics are the main story.
Why not?
Let me tell you why. The tools, whether it's an app logging a Fourth Amendment violation or a tactical jurisdictional shift in family court, they serve an identical extreme strategic goal: total institutional abolition. Neither of them is trying to reform the child welfare system.
Right, they aren't asking for better oversight committees or slightly fairer hearings.
Exactly. They are definitely not looking for a seat at the reform table. When the Punisher tracks Louisiana Senate Bill 265, he isn't looking for an amendment to improve family preservation. That was a 213-page legislative attempt to dismantle the state's Department of Children and Family Services entirely.
Oh, right, the Louisiana bill.
Yes. He explicitly points out on the broadcast that Mardi Gras and abolishing CPS go perfectly together. It is a cause for absolute celebration for him. And when Tiff refuses to sign a safety plan in a judge's chambers, she isn't negotiating the terms of that plan. She is fundamentally denying the court's moral and legal jurisdiction over her family. The blueprints they're following are exactly the same: burn the institution to the ground.
Well, now, if you're listening to this, you might be thinking, wait, abolishing child protective services entirely, isn't that incredibly dangerous? What about the children who actually need protection?
Sure, that's the natural response.
And that's exactly why we have to look at the fuel driving this movement. You do not arrive at a posture of total systemic destruction casually.
You certainly do not, and that leads directly to the underlying trauma that drives both of these individuals. If you truly want to understand why their shared ideology trumps their differing tactics, you really have to look at the psychological engine powering their activism.
The shared pain.
Yes. When you listen closely to the broadcasts, you see how remarkably alike their psychological drivers truly are. They both operate from a terrifyingly liberating place of having absolutely nothing left to lose.
It's a very dangerous place for a bureaucracy to encounter a citizen.
It is the bureaucracy's worst nightmare. I mean, Tiff has processed the ultimate trauma for a parent. When we talk about the termination of parental rights, we are talking about the legal death of the parent-child relationship. The state permanently severs that bond.
Yeah, it's brutal.
She survived the absolute worst outcome the state can impose. And the Punisher is channeling a raw, immediate trauma. Listen how he describes the house fire. He doesn't just mourn the loss of his possessions, he focuses on the visceral betrayal of having state agents, firefighters, and police stand by, doing nothing, or actively threatening to arrest him over a $50 traffic ticket while his life literally turns to ash.
The juxtaposition of the burning house and the $50 ticket is staggering. I mean, it perfectly encapsulates their view of the state's misplaced priorities.
It creates a profound, irreparable psychological rupture with the state. He talks about how uniform-wearing public servants, whom he once held to a high standard, showed zero empathy. So they both operate from a zero point of trust. That shared, deeply personalized trauma and the resulting alienation from the state is the absolute core of their alliance.
That's an interesting point, though I would frame it differently.
How so?
Well, I don't deny the shared trauma for a second. It is palpably present. It's almost a third co-host in every broadcast. But again, I look at how they utilize that pain. Their reactions to trauma differ drastically, and how those reactions mesh together is what creates their unique power.
Elaborate on that. How do their reactions differ?
Consider how they project their pain on the air. Tiff uses her past trauma to provide spiritual and emotional resilience to her listeners. She explicitly acts as a spiritual anchor. She talks about faith. She proudly mentions her NAACP award. She tells her audience to rely on karma, noting that karma has everybody's address.
That is a memorable quote.
Yeah. And when she embraces the label of being crazy by design, she is manufacturing emotional armor for terrified parents who are being called crazy by social workers.
So she owns the labels the system places on her and neutralizes them.
Exactly. She weaponizes them. Now, the Punisher, conversely, weaponizes his trauma to highlight systemic structural apathy. He uses his burned-down house not just as a personal tragedy, but as a real-time audit of municipal failures.
Questioning their basic competence.
Right. He questions how the government can spend immense resources surveilling and investigating families, yet somehow lack the water pressure or the basic bureaucratic competence to fight a fire. So while they both pull from dark places, isn't Tiff essentially acting as the spiritual anchor of the movement while the Punisher acts as the systemic auditor?
That's a compelling argument, honestly. But have you considered that acting as a spiritual anchor and a systemic auditor are just two different ways of expressing the exact same deep-seated alienation? The trauma has isolated both of them from mainstream society in identical ways. The Punisher explicitly talks about this isolation on the air. He mentions how regular people who celebrate Christmas, who go about their normal, undisturbed lives, look at them like they are absolute lunatics when they start talking about the government kidnapping children for profit.
They feel completely misunderstood.
Exactly. They are entirely united by their alienation. Their trauma has forged a shared identity of the aggrieved outsider, and that shared identity is much stronger than the different ways they might express it on a microphone.
But notice what happens when you put the aggrieved outsider who provides emotional resilience next to the aggrieved outsider who provides structural analysis. This combination is the exact definition of how their tactics synthesize into something highly functional. Let's really map out how this operational mesh works in practice.
Okay, map it out.
As we established, Tiff has 37 years of analog, hard-won knowledge. She knows the physical layout of the courts, she knows the behavioral tells of social workers, she knows the specific intimidation tactics used in small, windowless conference rooms.
She possesses the institutional memory of the entire movement.
Yes, but that analog knowledge is inherently limited by human bandwidth. It's limited by how many desperate phone calls she can physically take in a day. The Punisher digitizes and scales that exact knowledge, but it goes deeper than just the app. Look at their dynamic on the air.
You mean when they are broadcasting together?
Right. When Tiff gets exhausted by the relentless, tragic phone calls, when she admits the toll of constantly hearing about shattered families, the Punisher steps in with cold, hard data to reignite the logical outrage. He starts citing Title IV funding streams to explain exactly why those families are being shattered.
Ah, the funding metrics. Those are a huge part of their broadcasts.
They are. But wait, for those of us who don't spend our weekends reading federal child welfare statutes, what exactly is Title IV-E? I mean, how does it incentivize this kids for tash dynamic they talk about so much?
Right, it's a crucial piece of jargon to unpack. Title IVE of the Social Security Act is essentially the federal funding mechanism for child welfare. In highly simplified terms, it provides open-ended matching funds to states for foster care maintenance.
All kinds of things you can do with that.
Why did you take it down?
Oh, because you can take it down. I'll put it back up. I'll put it back up. Going back up. I got it.
Yeah, I wanted to hear what else they had to say. How long is it?
I think it's only like 10 more minutes.
System payouts for foster homes, quoting numbers directly from the source material.
Do you have those numbers?
Yeah, he notes that agencies get $2,695 a month for what they classify as special children, $3,136 for exceptional children, and up to $3,816 a month for extraordinary children. He also brings up the adoption tax credits ranging from $10,000 to over $16,000.
Wow. Those numbers are staggering. I mean, when you're talking about nearly $4,000 a month per child, it's incredibly easy to see how a grieving parent would view the entire apparatus as a financially motivated kidnapping ring.
Exactly. And that brings me to how they actually mesh, because I certainly won't deny that they scale each other, as you pointed out. The integration of her localized experience and his digital technology is highly effective.
Right, the synthesis.
But the mesh you're describing is actually an ideological feedback loop. It's not just a division of labor, where one hands the baton to the other. It's a mutual validation machine. Tiff's highly emotional appeals, the visceral, poetic stories of children crying in the night, the raw anger at families being separated, they validate the Punisher's cold financial data. It gives his spreadsheets a heartbeat.
And how does the data serve Tiff's side of the equation then?
Well, the Punisher's data justifies Tiff's extreme emotional stances. When mainstream society calls her crazy by design, or when judges label her belligerent, the Punisher's calm recitation of those Title IV-E funding metrics proves that her paranoia isn't paranoia at all.
It's evidence.
Exactly. It proves it is a highly rational response to a deeply monetized system. They mesh perfectly, not because their skills merely fit together like puzzle pieces, but because they constantly validate each other's uncompromising worldview in a society that they feel has deeply isolated them. They aren't just sharing the workload, they are building an impenetrable philosophical fortress where no moderate voice and no institutional compromise can ever enter.
I hear you, but I'm just not convinced by that line of reasoning, because you're treating their collaboration as merely a coping mechanism. You know, a psychological echo chamber designed to validate their isolation.
It's a powerful echo chamber, though.
But the output of their partnership isn't just mutual comfort. It is highly organized, tactical, outward-facing resistance. The fact that the Punisher can bring up a 213-page legislative bill from Louisiana and meticulously dissect it, alongside Tiff's understanding of how that bill will practically immediately affect a terrified mother in a courtroom, shows that the synthesis is fundamentally tactical, not just ideological.
I see what you're saying, but
The feedback loop doesn't just circle inward to make them feel better, is my point. It projects outward to their audience, giving their listeners both the emotional permission to fight back and the literal structural tools to do so.
And yet, what is the ultimate message they are giving their audience with those tools? They are giving them the absolute, unshakable certainty that the system cannot be reasoned with. As we look at the whole picture, my stance remains that their true power is their shared, uncompromising absolutism.
Right.
Whether you are using a smartphone app to log constitutional violations or refusing to sign a state-mandated safety plan in a judge's chambers, the underlying thesis is identical. The system is irreparably corrupt, it is financially motivated, and it must be brought to the ground. Their mutual identity as aggrieved outsiders who have sacrificed everything is the true, beating heart of their movement.
And I maintain that their effectiveness is a masterclass in complementary tactics. They take the exact same outrage, yes, but they process it through entirely different machinery. The emotional veteran scales her 37 years of analog warfare through the tech-driven strategist.
The hammer and the scalpel, as you said.
Right? It's the synthesis of the spiritual and the structural, the social engineering combined with the malicious code that makes them such a formidable presence to their listeners. But, despite our different frameworks, I think we have found a very significant point of convergence here.
We have, definitely. Because regardless of whether their differences or their similarities are the primary driver of their success, their partnership is highly effective precisely because it leaves absolutely no room for moderate engagement with the child welfare system.
None at all.
By presenting this united, multifaceted, yet ideologically impenetrable front, they force their audience to choose a side completely. There is simply no middle ground in their broadcasts.
It's a fascinating reflection on the complexity of grassroots activism. We so often look at trauma as something that breaks a community down, something that shatters organization. But here we see how profound trauma can synthesize into a highly organized, hyper-vigilant movement.
Absolutely.
And there is so much more to explore in this source material, particularly regarding the intricate financial structures, those tier system payouts, and the federal Title IV funding they are fighting against. That definitely deserves its own deep dive at some point.
I completely agree. The intersection of cold bureaucracy and raw human emotion is always a volatile, revealing space. It shows us how policy is lived on the ground, and frankly, what happens when citizens decide the social contract is irreparably broken.
We leave it to you, the listener, to decide which perspective best explains the synergy between Tiff and the Punisher. Are they powerful because they are the social engineer and the coder, each performing a distinct, necessary function to dismantle the system?
Or are they powerful because they are united by the fact that they have nothing left to lose, driven by an identical zero-tolerance ideology?
Thank you for listening.
Wow. Darren, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Isn't that great?
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. And it does so much more. There's so many other things that you can do with this. Like, let me get this back up here. Where the hell does this stop?
How many clips did you put in?
So I was like 8 references. So I have like 8 of our shows in there on the notebook. So that it's referencing, like those different 8 shows and what we've talked about, and then, consumes information, and bada bing, bada boom, creates its own little person to tell you what's up and how it feels and all of that stuff.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, viewers also need to know that we don't just mesh because of what they said. We also mesh because we're both the same sign, right? Like Darren's birthday's the day after mine.
Yeah, and the day of your son's.
Yeah, and my son's birthday is July 3rd.
Yeah. Man.
So
it's tough
that was awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's nifty. So notebook, guys, try that out. It's pretty cool. It's a good app to have. Not as good as the CPS Punisher app, but because we have that app called the CPS Punisher. Tiff.
Yeah.
Haven't you been using it a lot lately with all of your cases? Tiff, oh my, you must be using the CPSPunisher.com all the time because you need it so many times.
Yeah, I've only been sick for a week. Yeah.
Yes, by sick, you mean really working hard on the CPSPunisher.com.
Yeah. Hey, did you send that app to Joe?
Who was Joe? Joe who?
The guy asked you to help here.
Oh, yeah, Joe. No, I didn't give that to Joe. Why would I ask Joe to have that?
Well, he said he hasn't heard from you.
Well, why would I give him that recording?
The app.
Oh, yeah, I gave him the app.
Darren, get the yogurt out between your ears. Get the yogurt out of there.
Nah, it's just a little clunkery. Anyway. Whoa, what an exciting day.
You what?
You're going to be in the news. Oh, that's very nice, Michelle. Thanks. Oh, good. You did. Excellent. I put a new memory thing on it, so now it remembers you. And so it saves all the everything as you're talking to it, all the questions you ask it. It saves it and remembers it all when it's talking to you. Because it's like your own little AI lady person, you know? Or you wouldn't know. Right. That's right, Tiff. Everybody else out here will know, though. www.thecpspunisher.com. Best app on the market. How's that? Was that good, Tiff?
Yeah, that was real good, Derek.
Good. So, I wonder where's Osiris tonight?
I think he was sick because I talked to him yesterday and he took a nap.
Yeah, blew his germ right in. You know,
Network connection timed out.
Yeah, he might be sick too. I'm telling you, it's going around.
Well, hopefully they get the ones that already have gone through them. You know, just have to sit there and match up the,
Well, there's nothing they can do for it but give you these little teeny tiny white little puke pills and say, take them and it should make you feel better.
They don't even know what they're giving you, or you don't know what they're giving you, you know?
So I sent him because I told him about the Social Security general provisions, but I had the code wrong. So I had to go back in and find it. And it's 1101D, where it says nothing in this act shall be construed as authorizing any federal official, agent, or representative in carrying out any provisions of this act to take charge of any child over the objections of either parents of such child or the person standing in as loco parentis or whatever of such child. So I had to send him that yesterday. I said, oh, did you know about that? And he was like, no. So I sent it to him. And I guess our time is just about up.
No. Why is that, Tiff?
We got 10 minutes.
Oh, it's in the box day.
Okay.
In the box day. Up in the box. There's the phone ring. Hello, Mr. McPhee.
I can't read none of those.
Well, I don't know who it is, but it's in the box for you guys. So if you want to come in the box, I'm going to put the link up. And come on in and get a couple minutes of time and we'll give you a couple minutes of ours. All right, that's enough ringing now. Thank you. And then we'll Jesus almighty, hold on, people. There we go. That like makes you have like a seizure kind of, man. It's like, it's ringing so loud, you know. Let's see. Right. Okay. In the books. Link copied. Chat. Boom. Here we go, guys. In the box. Come on in. 2 to 3 minutes. In the court. Me and Tiff. Round and round. In the box. All right. Ready? Here comes Tiff. Here comes the box. Here it is. Come on. Into our ring. We're in the box, so come into the box. We go into the windy box. Come on, mister. Go in the box. Who do you think comes in the box?
I don't know. I can't even see who's on. I'm on my phone because my laptop's acting stupid.
Yeah, it might shoot something at you.
It might.
Yeah, you want to be careful with that stuff, Tiff. Shot by your own laptop. It's serious.
Yeah, I guess I'll be working on it tomorrow.
So wait, you don't see the comments underneath you? You see them beside us?
They're beside us and they're very small.
Oh, so it looks like smaller than ants going by.
Yeah.
Oh.
The whole reason I got my laptop was so that I could see.
Right? Well, what happened to it?
I don't know. It just keeps cutting off.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to reboot it. I don't know.
Something would be coming up. Well, there she goes. Boom, out she goes. Holy smokes.
Just like my phone did.
That was weird, huh?
See? So, I don't know. I guess my phone's getting mad that I'm talking about my laptop.
Yep. Jealous phone.
Jeez. Now I don't see any comments. They're gone.
Oh, nice. Well, I texted Tiff a while ago on Messenger.
Yeah, I can't read them because I'm on my phone. I have to read them after I get off.
Or how she would answer that, please, thanks. What was the question, Michelle? I think it is them with the virus system. So yes, John, you're right. I don't know, Michelle, what was your question? Or come in the box and tell the question. Hop in on the link.
Yeah.
You're always good for a show topic. Oh my Lord. I put it up there again, guys. The link's in there. Oh man, I can't believe that no one's going to come in the box today. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. No one's ever come into the box. We'll have an unboxable day.
Well, I like that little notebook thing that they were talking about us. I like that.
Yeah, it is nice. You should.
They analyze us without charging us.
Tiff, don't tell people that because they'll all be using it too. And then they'll start charging us.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
You know, they have it so you can even ask them questions, right?
Really?
Hold on, let's see real quick. Overview. Beach. There we go. Yes, right here. This, with, yes. Not sure how they differ. Generate. And it's generating it now. Should be a minute here. It'll give us our own little podcast here. But it also does, like it did a movement thing. It did a.
Well, it was right about a lot of stuff. And one of them was I have a zero tolerance for the system. Zero.
All right, Tiff, did you hear this?
Huh?
Did you hear this yet?
No. You don't have to play it right now.
Oh, yeah, you do. Nice to see this.
Okay.
Very intense grassroots movement. We're looking at parental rights activism, but specifically a faction that believes Child Protective Services CPS isn't just a flawed agency, but a corrupt, profit-driven machine.
A machine that's actively hunting families. That's the claim.
Exactly.
It is a jarring shift in perspective. If you ask the average person what CPS does, they probably say they protect kids from abusive parents.
Sure.
But the sources we're analyzing today, transcripts from the CPS Breaking News channel and a segment from the American Potential podcast, they flip that script entirely. They argue that the system is the abuser.
And to be clear, we are not looking at policy papers here.
Very good.
We are analyzing the raw, unfiltered voice of the resistance. We've gone through hours of content from two hosts who go by Tiff and The Punisher.
The Punisher. I mean, that is not a name you usually see on a LinkedIn profile for a policy analyst.
No, it is not, and that's the whole point. We also have a segment with libertarian activist Spike Cohen. So we're kind of triangulating between this gritty, street-level anger and a higher-level legal strategy.
So what's the mission here? What are we trying to unpack?
The why. Why do these people believe the government is trafficking children? Is there actual data behind the idea that family separation is a business? And what happens when that worldview, collides with the legal system?
Okay, let's start with the personalities because they really set the tone. You mentioned the Punisher. His real name is Darren, but that persona, it's very deliberate, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Tiff and Darren frame this explicitly as a war. They don't use the language of advocacy or reform. They use the language of combat. They talk about being soldiers, abolishing tyrants, and facing down evil. They see themselves as the last line of defense.
And to understand why their audience trusts them, why they listen to a guy named The Punisher instead of some lawyer, you have to look at Darren's background. He's not a politician. He works in biorecovery.
Which is a polite way of saying he cleans up crime scenes.
And hoarding houses.
Absolutely.
And the stories he tells to establish his credibility are, well, they're vivid.
Yeah.
He talks about these hoarding houses where he's wading through trash. There's one specific description of a house with, and I'm quoting here, 3 feet of dog shit and wine bottles everywhere.
It's visceral. But there's a real rhetorical purpose behind sharing that.
He also mentions cleaning out 18-wheelers, finding hidden cash in attics like a stash of $14,000 from 1983 that he split with his coworkers. It's like something out of a movie.
It is, but think about what that signals to his listener.
Yeah.
When he talks about refusing to clean a car because the owner didn't say it had blood from a murder in it, he's setting up a specific kind of authority.
What kind of authority?
He's telling you, I deal with the ugly reality that polite society ignores.
Right, he's the guy who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty.
Exactly. He cleans up the literal messes of the world. So when he pivots to talking about CPS, the implication is that the child welfare system is just another hoarding house.
Another dirty, rotting mess that the bureaucrats are ignoring.
And he's the only one with the hazmat suit willing to walk in and expose it. It builds this incredible credibility with an audience that probably feels looked down upon by social workers or judges.
It bridges that gap between conspiracy theorist and blue-collar realist.
Yeah, and even when they joke around, there was that bit about Virginia gun laws, laughing about the right to arm bearers versus the right to bear arms. It just cements them as regular people fighting an elite system.
Okay, so that's the emotional hook. That's why people are tuning in. But let's get to the intellectual core of this. Because if it was just shouting and jokes, we wouldn't be doing a deep dive. The core accusation is that CPS is a profit-driven machine. That sounds like hyperbole, but they actually brought receipts.
They did. And this is where we have to slow down and look at the numbers, because this is the whole incentivizing separation argument. They cite specific foster care reimbursement rates for New York for July 2024 to June 2025.
Okay, walk us through that. In the eyes of the state, according to these documents, what is a child worth?
Well, their argument is that the value depends entirely on how damaged the child is seen to be. The system categorizes them. For a child classified as special, the foster home or agency gets about $2,695 a month.
Okay, so that's roughly $32,000 a year. That's a salary for some people.
But if that child gets classified as exceptional, the rate jumps to over $3,100 a month. And if you can get the classification of extraordinary, the rate hits roughly $3,816 a month.
That is almost $46,000 a year, tax-free in a lot of cases.
Right. Now, a social worker would look at that and say, well, of course, children with higher needs require more resources. That's the official line.
But the argument Tiff and Darren are making is that this creates a perverse financial incentive.
Exactly. Because if you're a foster agency or even a foster parent treating this as a job, a healthy, happy, well-adjusted child is bad for the bottom line. You make the least money on them.
You are financially incentivized to find problems, to pathologize normal behaviors, to exaggerate things.
Precisely. The sources argue the structure encourages the system to bump that child from special to extraordinary.
Oh, there we go.
You'll have to send me the rest of that. I want to finish hearing that.
I know it. That's us, though. They did a nice show about us.
Yeah, I like these. I like this. I might have to call you tomorrow so I can figure out how to do it.
Yeah, it's nice to you can pick like what it tells you to do and what you listen to and everything. It's really cool.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see what Michelle was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Erica. Whoa.
What?
I don't know. I was reading. She was banned from the hospital because a nurse supposedly seen us snort something from the arm of the chairs. Screw them, people. So sick of them. Sick of them all. Let's just get them all through the goddamn courts and beat them
Network connection
to a pulp.
timed out.
Let's just get that on there. Get that done with. That's all we got to do.
See if you can send that to me in an email or something.
Sure thing, Tiff.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good song to go out on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I forget. I have one right here. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
They took your kids. They broke the law. Now it's time to even the score. Hey. CPS came knocking, badges flashing lies for your family apart under fluorescent skies. But shadows got a skull now. AI locked and loaded. Scan your docs, expose the fraud. Watch the tyrants get demoted. Violations stacked like bodies in the street. Constitutional rights they tried to delete. Upload the evidence, let the algorithm strike. We don't beg for mercy. We punish what ain't right. CPS, Punisher, mount up. Skull on the app. Justice won't stop. Fight back harder. Never gonna drop. Punisher rising. Your family's on top. CPS, Punisher, lock and load. Break the chains, reclaim the road. AI warrior, truth overload. They fear the skull, cause the Punisher's code. Family court circus, judges playing God, but we got the blueprint. Beat them at their fraud. Step by step defense, no more silent screams. Turn their violations into criminal schemes. From Hampton streets to every county line. Parents unite, it's payback time. That's Punisher.com. Download the fire, turn pain to power. Set the system on fire. They thought we were broken. They thought wrong. AI in your corner, vengeance prolonged. No retreat, no surrender, no compromise. The skull don't blink when justice arrives. CPS, Punisher, Punisher. We don't ask, we deliver the thunder. Punisher, Punisher. Families forever, tyrants go under. Punisher rising. The war's just begun. Download now. Your fight already won. The CPS Punisher. Justice served cold. Protect what's yours. Stand tall. Fight on!